And welcome to Lanterns TV Talk. I'm goddamn Kyle.
And I'm confused, Will?
This is the regular podcast showcasing and analyzing the upcoming Lanterns TV show from HBO Max, as well as taking a look at the mythos and stories surrounding DC Comics' Green Lantern. So without further ado, let's head on over to Guy's Bar.
And now we go to Guy Gardner's Bar Warriors. Have a drink and pull up a chair.
Will, happy Saturday. How you
Happy
doing?
Saturday. I'm doing pretty good. I've had a pretty good couple of weeks here. My dad, he went home yesterday, so that's kind of cool. It's bittersweet. He's been here now since he flew in, I think, the week after we did our last episode. So he had a good 3 weeks here. And then he spent a good week and a half with my sister, about 11 days. And then he came over here and he spent about 11 days, maybe closer to 12, but that's okay.
That's good.
And it was good. Listen, my old man is awesome. So we just got back camping. That's why we didn't record last week. I did take him to see Superman, which is good because we're talking about it. But and then I took him up north, and we went camping in the Adirondack region in New York State for almost a good solid week. We went to 3 different campgrounds. There's a ton of stories there. Where's one that, plumbing issue happened, so we had to kind of hit eject. But I drowned a lot of worms, caught some pretty great sunfish, caught a pretty good bullhead. But, just a good overall couple of weeks. What about you, man? What have you been up to?
Nothing compared to what you have been up to. I mean, last night I went out to see my friend's girlfriend play in her band and have a fantastic fish fry, and reconnect with a friend that I haven't seen in like 2 years. So last night was awesome. Other than that, not much has been happening. Just living. just living. I think since we last talked, I have now seen Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman twice. And then
Will you be going to Fantastic Four is the question.
I am.
All right, me too.
I am.
Me too.
On Thursday, actually.
Oh, wow. No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not rushing to that one. We could talk about that. I'm not rushing to it. And I'm a Fantastic Four fan. I consider myself a fan. I haven't really stayed up with it in the last probably 10, 15 years. But I read it a lot in the 80s and 90s, which I guess they're pulling a lot of the stuff from the time I did read. I'm definitely getting the Galactus feels and stuff like that. I'm glad they kind of went to the 60s retro motif because I think it's the only way that works. Yeah, I'm gonna go see it. More and more I see of it, the more I'm like, I'm gonna need to go see this. But
Yeah.
It's tough because Marvel has hurt me a little bit in the last couple of years. So
Thunderbolts and Ironheart were very good.
Right.
So I would definitely suggest watching those.
Thunderbolts
I know
was good. Ironheart I did try.
I know we're crossing streams right now with comic stuff, but hey, we're nerds.
Right.
We should appreciate all
Yes, absolutely.
nerd.
Thunderbolts was great. Thunderbolts was. It's a step in the right direction. Ironheart was a little too. I don't know. It didn't grab me. I was like, I see what they were doing, but it is kind of like, it's a lot of the Marvel TV lately. I think they're not focusing on building so much as they are informing. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But yeah, and Temple's letting us know a ton of stuff here. He's excited for F4 because unlike GLs, they seem to be doing F4 right in the MCU. Yes, I am totally reading the current Green Lantern. I'm definitely liking what they're doing with it as well. I like what they're doing with Hal. I'm a Hal guy, so. But yeah,
It's weird. I'm not reading any current GL besides Absolute. But I need to pick up the current issue that I think is number 4.
I'm a month behind because of Infinite. If I'm paying them $100, I'll be a month behind on my books. Yeah. It's just
Green Lantern Corps I want to read. I have to be very specific on what comics I'm reading right now, and it's absolute Batman, absolute Green Lantern. It's the absolute stuff, but
Right.
I'm gonna drop absolute Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Absolute Martian. We talked about this.
It's weird.
We talked about this last time. I'm not a fan of the Absolute at all. I
Yeah.
think they. I think I'm so tired of the trying to because it worked one time with the Ultimate Universe in the early aughts. Comic publishers thinking to themselves that we need to modernize the origins of these characters, and it's like it's literally Bullwinkle pulling a rabbit out of his hat and Rocky going that trick never works. And it's not working. They've tried to redo Ultimate Universe, it hasn't worked. This absolute stuff, they tried Earth 1, which I was okay with. We got comments on Earth 1. Earth 1 was kind of a cool way. Absolute just seems like how dark can we make it? How gritty can we make it? How 1990s comic can we make it? Superman has no hope. Batman is not rich. Green Lantern, I don't. What the hell's going on? It's an alien parasite with the thing and the horror. Flash is weird, and Martian Manhunter makes no sense. It has not hit me. And Temple's saying it. He's like, he's not enjoying Absolute Iron, but the mainline book seems to be bringing other core back. Yeah, they're gonna put the emotional spectrum back together. I think they realize they never should have thrown that baby out. That
Good,
baby,
because
it's like the Speed Force.
I think definitely after New 52 and like DC Universe Rebirth,
Yeah, I forgot about New
they
52. Oops.
they kind of definitely walked away from the other core, and I'm like, but that's what I want to read about. I want to read about the other core. Like, yes, I know with Brightest Day, they had their emphasis on the other core and all the other core members, but they kind of dropped it. I mean, I know they had the Red Lantern series during the New 52,
Yeah,
but that was
I
not
think it was
very
post Rebirth where
much.
they really Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps is where they kind of started to move away from it, and then
Hmm.
they gave Grant Morrison the reins on Green Lantern, and he didn't want to deal with it. So I think that's where, if I'm putting a point of finger, it was there. It was they decided that screw the emotional spectrum, and they threw it out. And the guy who came in after, he also kind of wanted to do something different and kind of wanted to expand on it, and it just didn't. I don't think it took. So I think we got to get back to the core seven.
Hmm.
I don't like the sorrow core. I don't like they've got like a gray core now and a fuchsia core and a magenta core and a aqua teal core, which I think the aqua teal people are just they're 1960s radical hippie hopeful children. I don't know. Actually, that would be kind of cool if that was it. But I mean, it just it's like they started trying to really go between the core seven of the rainbow and started really trying to, and it's okay, but I think for me it seems like writers nowadays don't want the confines of continuity, so that's why they keep trying to reboot,
Hmm.
and they don't want their hands to be tied by a continuity that's older than they are. On the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, that kind of what makes it good and what kind of makes you a better writer. Like Marv Wolfman said it best when if you read an interview with him about Crisis on Infinite Earths from '84, he said he's like, nobody realizes this. They yelled at me for killing all these characters. He's like, I had a rule. George and I had a rule. We didn't kill anybody who was created before we were born. And you look back and go, shit, no, they didn't kill Wildcat Ted Grant. They injured him. They didn't kill any of the JSA. They killed Barry Allen. They killed Kara Zor-El. They killed. I was like, oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Uh,
then, yeah, it's been a lot of good stuff. But going, 901.
Temple has said that Sinestro has been part of like most of the core right now. Would be interesting if they explored him as a White Lantern again, or maybe give him the God of Light type book that he had.
Yes, that Hal
And
had.
that's yeah. Seeing that I'm not really read up on Green Lantern core. I
He's
think I
got
have
a
the first
green
two
ring
issues.
now. He's got a green ring
Yes,
again. And again,
yes,
I'm a
and
month behind.
when I opened the page and I shocked to see that he was green again, and I'm like, What did I miss? Where do I need to go
I think they're going to put
for
the
that?
Spectrum back. He's going to obviously get the yellow ring back, but I think that yeah, I'd like to see him too. I kind of don't mind anti-hero Sinestro. I don't. I don't kind of want him to be all good. I didn't like his that he had a solo series for a while and it wasn't great. I think they need to find a way to resurrect Korrigar. I know there's a new Korrigar or whatever, but they killed Korrigar in one of the post John's books. I want to say I forget who was writing it. It might have been Jeremy Adams, but they destroyed Korrigar. I think that was a mistake. I think it was as big a mistake as destroying Vulcan in the Kelvin universe. I think it's one of the reasons the Kelvin universe didn't take off. Take off is because people were like, you come out of the gate, you destroy Vulcan. Like, why? And the only reason was, oh,
No, well, I mean, well,
yeah,
we could do a
we
whole
could do
separate
that. But yeah,
podcast
I mean,
about that.
but it's definitely, and he's like, yes. Did you guys see the cover for 28? It seems like Hal and Carol finally seem to be engaged. As long as they don't Tom King the shit out of that, I'll be good. If they try to pull a Tom King and like Hal and Carol are going to get married, like Tom King wrote the Batman Catwoman wedding, and it was all like, haha, fool you. And I hate Tom King so much. I just, oh, God. Heroes in Crisis broke me because of what he did to Wally. So, yeah, I want Tom King to. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I loved his Mr. Miracle, but stay in the weird part of the pool.
I loved his Mr. Miracle. I have Strange Adventures that I still need to read.
Did he do
I've
Vision?
also,
Was he the one who did Vision?
I think he did.
Yeah,
He
I
also
liked
he
it.
also did he also did tying this back into what we're going to
Yeah.
be talking about, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Right. So, and that'll be part of what we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but that's kind of where we're at. I think maybe we should move on to our primary topic since Temple. Look at this man. Temple's here. Sinestro
Yeah,
took over a
Temple-
planet and
Temple
called
and-
it New Korrigar. Yep.
Yeah. Nico's also talking about
Oh.
like how Henry Cavill's Superman aura is unmatched and that
Oh,
and
Nico,
everything.
you're not going to like me very much because when we talk about Superman, spoiler alert, I'm going to have some words about the Man of Steel. So, but I get what he's saying. I like his plot hole too, and we could talk about this. I want to expand on this because I kind of thought the same thing. He did say, you know what? Why don't we, why don't we go ahead and
Hey,
get into the main
what-
thing? We'll kind of bring that up.
Yeah, let's get on to the mission briefing.
You got it.
Now it's time for a mission briefing.
All right, so for the main reason that you're all here, Green Lantern 2025, am I right?
All right, let's talk. We should talk about Superman 2025.
All right,
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
2025. Yes.
All right. So the tagline given to us by the lovely IMDb is that Superman must reconcile his alien Kryptonian heritage. Alien Kryptonian. I'm so glad you put a descriptor on that. His alien Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as reporter Clark Kent, as the embodiment of truth, justice, and the human way. We could talk about that. I'm not a big fan of that. He soon finds himself in a world that views these as old-fashioned. Loved it.
Yeah.
Directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, and he gives a writing credit to Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, which I think
Is
great. I think that's solid.
honestly, I think all comic book creators for their stories should be in as the writer.
Right, and then starring David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Holt, and a slew of other people.
Oh yes.
So, well, Kyle, what did you think of it?
Right off the back.
Oh, and by the way, before we get started, the Rotten Tomatoes score: critics is 83%, audience is 92. Baker away, toys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go to the end right away. I gave this a 4 out of 5 lantern.
I thought we did 10. So you do 8 out of 10?
I do, yeah. Then 8 out of 10 lanterns.
Okay.
I'm doing it off of like what I did for Letterboxd. Sorry, So for people who just don't want to deal with spoilers, that's that. It's a fantastic movie. Please go see
Yes.
it.
In fact,
this
let's do
deserves
that.
to be
Like,
seen.
I'm going to say the same thing. Actually, I would have probably done 8.5 out of 10. I it's the Superman I want. If you haven't seen it, again, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Superman is hopeful. In fact, to almost a fault. I love the way James Gunn pointed a lens at, here is this guy who swallowed the Kool-Aid. He, in the fishing parlance, because I've been fishing all week, like hook, line, sinker, and the head of the pole. Like, he 100% believes he's doing the good and right thing. He involves himself in a war. People have a reaction to it, and then James Gunn pivots that to use it as a lens for America and how we are viewing certain things that on the surface appear to be good, but because some people weren't involved, they automatically hate it. It has a lot to say about our climate. It has a lot to say about hopefulness. But what I love is that he's fighting in daylight. He's happy. He is. He's tortured and tormented by the world around him, but he's not. It's not influencing him. All it's doing is making him question. And there are some reviewers out there who with political agendas who are using it as an application to call it woke and an opportunity, I should say, to call it woke and to call it this and that. Here's the thing. It's not. He is 100% showing the humanity of Clark Kent and Superman along with the larger-than-life character that Kal-El has created. I love this movie. I think it's exactly where we need to be. It's in the pantheon of Superman movies. No, it is not better than 1978. I'm going to say this: it's better than both the Donner cut and Lester cut of Superman 2, and then go down the line. It is the proper course correction we need after my humble opinion, after the Snyderverse and the misdirection that they took DC. This is the course correction we need to make DC relevant again. And that's going to be the end of my non-spoiler part.
I enjoyed how bright everything on screen was. It wasn't dark. Now, Zack Snyder has a artistic look to his movie, fine. But this one brought brightness and hopefulness to the world.
It was for color. It looked all the scenes. It was something I noticed. Like, it's color, it's shot, and the design is like a comic book, old 4-color comic book. Red, yellows, and greens are there. The reason there were Green Lantern is because 4-color means you could have red and blue, or yellow and blue. Well, they make green, so we can do that easy. It's shot very, very well, very bright. It's very Gunn. But that's going to be. Should we just say this now? Like, going forward, guys, we're going to be free to discuss spoilers. So if you're listening to this on your podcast and you haven't seen the movie, hit stop. If you're, 32 minutes in to or 18 minutes into your recording, just so you know to come back, because we're going to feel free to talk spoilers now. But yeah, it was beautiful, and stuff happens in daylight. It didn't look like 300, which is the problem I had with Man of Steel. It seemed like the backgrounds for Metropolis and 300 were the same, during the battle and stuff like that. So,
Nico says Man of Steel was a visual masterpiece.
It was. It had Snyder style. I'll give you that. It does. It was 100. They got what they wanted. They wanted Snyder. So all the slow-mo capture, all of the. When you watch a Zack Snyder movie, you know what you're getting. There's going to be 1,000 slow-mo shots. There's going to be, incredibly intricate stuff going in the background, fires and smokes, a lot of movement in the background. This movie didn't have that, and comics don't have that. I think James Gunn was going for that. The only scene that I can recall that had a ton of stuff going in the background, I think he was doing for comedic effect when the Justice Gang was fighting the what did he call it? The imp?
The interdimensional nymph.
Yeah, imp. He called him an imp, which I was like, Mxyzptlk? Why are you not with Mxyzptlk? But yeah, I
mean that's exactly what I thought at first, but the fact that they didn't name it, I'm like, okay, it's a different.
I think he wants to save it. But that was the one scene where there was movement in the background, and because of how they shot this and filmed it, that scene, that actually was going to be a con for me. It was actually distracting. I get what he was going, but there was so much emotional heft being lifted by David Cord, Sweat, and Lois that that scene, having that go on in the background, it felt kind of like an airplane movie or one of those where I'm like, I'm kind of interested in what's going back here, but I really feel like my focus should be here because they were making changes and talking about their relationship and the drama of that. That was the only misstep that I could see. It's one of the reasons it kept it out of a 10 for me. But you're not wrong. Man of Steel looked beautiful. It really did.
The downside for this movie for me is that during like the flight scenes,
Yes.
it too much zoomed in on the face at times,
Okay, I can get
and
that.
I'm like I could have used it once. I don't know, the second time that Superman goes to the fortress after he finds out about like how did he
that
get
Lex had been there and took his
that,
recording. Right.
that was weirdly shot, but I understand it. I don't know if it's something I would do
Right.
just to show flight. I guess I'm just used to still movement and then just having the flight. I don't know.
I liked that because it didn't feel that could be a cheat. In the way they do visual effects now, they're not going to do a lot of what they used to do with Christopher Reeve and the wire work in front of a blue
No.
screen and and that and it wouldn't look right. I mean, here's the thing, that rear projection, you watch Superman 78 and you're like, okay, I can remember sitting in a theater in 1978 watching that movie, and yes, I believed a man could fly. But I see it now, and I see the obvious, they're rear projecting on a screen. He's obviously in green screen. There's obviously wires. I'm like, doesn't hold up today. I like what they did with the in close up because I felt like it was a new way to do it, because they love to show, like when the Flash is running, they love to show Barry or Wally. And by the way, the Flash, Ezra should have been fucking Wally West, and I would never have had a problem with him, or Bart. But in any event, they show him face up, and they show the world kind of interacting around him. You don't show the blur because the blur is not visually. And I think James Gunn was going for the same thing. It's better to show the face and not just the red and blue blur flying by at super speed. It's not visually as good. What I didn't like was the churns. I rewatched it. Might have grabbed it off the high seas. And I rewatched it, and that was the first thing I noticed. I did notice in the theater. The scene where he's flying away from the Fortress of Solitude to come back into battle. They do that turnaround on him where he goes upside down, and he's kind of like the point of view character. He's flying upside down and getting back. And they have the camera go to Lex or Luthor Corp, and he starts upside down, and they start spinning it right side up again. And I know he's going for, Superman is using the X-ray or telescopic vision, and that's why it's upside down and goes right side up. If you knew Luthor was, which made some sense in regards, but I'm like, if you knew Luthor was behind it, why didn't he just hit it? But I thought that was a choice that he kind of could have not done. Similar to, but it's also James Gunn's style. He did it in He did it in Guardians of the Galaxy a lot. He did it in that movie with The Office. Like he does kind of like his camera rotations, much like the Kelvin verse with their stupid J.J. Abrams and his stupid like lens flares.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give a director his visual style. I'm gonna let him have it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, speaking of like directors and visual styles, that's the one thing that James Gunn has said is we are going to let all these directors
Yes.
do their own visual style. We're not going to be like, okay, this is the template, this is what you have to do. No, he is letting the directors do their own
Which I think,
thing.
which is a good thing to do. I think Marvel did the same thing. A Russo movie looks very different from a Gunn movie, which looks very different from, other Marvel flicks. All right, so Nico's sitting here saying, he's bringing it up too. He said he means action scenes felt no weight to it as we deserve to see even in this day and age. I don't know that I agree. Again, I'm not sure. I like your opinion. I'm not going to invalidate your opinion. I'm not sure that I felt the action was, I could follow the action better. And Nico, I have no idea how old you are compared to me. This could be generational. For me, like, I struggle with the current way filmmakers are doing action in movies nowadays. Like it seems to be they went the Michael Bay Transformers route where you just throw a lot of things on the screen, show a lot of movement, and let the audience try to see if they can follow along. This was, I could follow what was happening. Punches were punches, and they were, there, and things of that nature. I think you kind of needed that for this movie. Like, a problem a lot of people have with Superman Returns, myself included, is that Superman did not throw a single punch in that movie, ever. So,
No, yeah.
and he's 20. Okay, this is good. All right, Nico. So, I am very glad that you're here because I have a unique perspective, being somebody. So for you, you missed the kinetic, frenetic, and that's something that Snyder does very well, even in this latest 2 movies that he did for Netflix. Kinetic, frenetic action is what he did very, very well. It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of moving pieces. So I can understand that. I prefer this style because I read a comic, and a comic doesn't have movement. So, and a lot of people have said the same thing. They felt this version of Superman was the most comic accurate we've seen in some time. And then he says, if you look at the script and story of Superman 78 to today's standards, it's mid or below average. Yes and no. I never liked the Luthor land grab. I've always had a problem with that. I was like, so this is what it... But it's definitely a relic of its time.
But also,
Yeah.
kind of a little like a nod to Superman 78 in Superman 2025 with Luthor wanting to have a
He
piece
was
of
trying
land
to
for
take over
himself.
land. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that in that point, that's fine. I don't know if that was an intentional nod,
I have to think
to
it
it.
is. I have to think so.
but that was interesting. I the
It was. You're not wrong. Nico says Man of Steel was a truly new generational Superman movie. 100%
Oh, yeah.
can agree with that. I will agree with that. I didn't like it, but that wasn't necessarily made for me, so that's okay. Go ahead, Kyle. Where were you though?
No, Man of Steel. I walked out of the movie theater. I felt like, oh, this is much better than Superman Returns.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that.
I was really excited to see Henry Cavill and see where he was going
Yeah.
with Superman. We learned where that eventually went. Not a lot of the majority of the people do not like Batman v Superman. I put it in the headspace as a Elseworlds
Yeah.
movie, and it's different.
think-
It's almost the absolute
Yeah.
universe.
And he's right. Okay, Man of Steel is a truly new generational Superman movie. And the people that were most annoyed, myself included with it, were people that were of a certain age. I was 30, in my late 30s, maybe 40s when Man of Steel hit. I think I was just about turned 40. Yeah, because it's 2012. So I was like in my late 30s. And I was like, again, I've talked about it. This is what broke me. On Man of
Yeah.
Steel, I was there. You had me until Costner throws his hand up. And from then on, I took a giant dump on that movie because I was like, no, this is not, no. And I'll die on that hill. But again, as in the years that have gone by, I've appreciated Cavill's Superman. I like the rebirth idea they did in Justice League, where he kind of did come back. He played it differently after he died. The problems I had with Cavill's Superman were Man of Steel and BVS. Justice League, where he came back, he started to be more
Superman.
Right. And then even the end of Black Adam, much more Superman than we've seen. I would love it if Gunn could find a place for Cavill in this.
I have seen some like fan casting of who would you want Henry Cavill to be, and one of them is Zod.
No.
No,
I think you need Cavill to be Honestly, I'd love to see it if they ever try to do Justice Society. Give him a chance to really like
So let him be Ultraman.
something. Justice Society, let him be. Oh, if they do Earth 3, holy shit. If they do Crime Syndicate, yes, give him Ultraman.
Which
honestly,
well,
that would be great.
put
You
it
get Affleck.
put
you
a
get
pin
him.
put a pin in that
Yes.
conversation for
Yes.
news.
Yes. Because I'd love that. Holy cow. There, James Gunn, if you're listening, if you're one of our 6 people that watch or listen to the show, like legit, you get Gal Gadot, you get Ben Affleck, you get the entire Snyder Justice League. Boom, put them on Earth 3, and they're the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah.
Take my money. But
So all in all,
yeah.
I really enjoyed this Superman or David Cornswett's Superman.
yes,
There, I
I want more.
I was trying to put him into say like Superman the animated series, like
Yeah.
in that role. Yes, I can see it definitely. Same with Nicholas Holt's Lex
Oh,
Luthor and Rachel Bronson's Lois Lane.
I'm gonna lay this out
She
there
did
right
not
now.
hold back.
Yeah, I'm going to lay this out there right now. I have said, and I've said up till now, Margot Kidder is my Lois. I love her. She was great. No longer. Rachel Brosnahan took that from me. I was like, perfect. She's a journalist. The stuff she's saying to him about. I always kind of wanted to be a journalist when I was younger, and I still believe in it. And it's my problem with today's media is that I'm like, on both sides. I'm like, the corporations are running the news. The news no longer exists. Like, where is journalism? And she's sitting there and she's holding true. She's like, you can't interview yourself. That's ethically wrong. I'm like, hallelujah. You know, she was far and away the best Lois I've seen on screen ever. She was a reporter. She still loved Clark. She still loved Superman. But she was a reporter, and that stuff they were doing with the planet, and you know, the Daily Planet people were fantastic.
Yes, they were.
You know, I loved it. I agree. And Temple said it. He's like, I love this Superman, but I just wish GL was done right too. And I'm repeating myself, but don't blame me for disappointed with the news from yesterday. We're gonna talk about it in the news section. But yeah, I loved everything about this Superman. I love this movie. Like I said, it's an 8.5 for me. It's 85%. 15%, I'm taking some points off. Like I said, some of it, yeah, they missed a few steps. I thought. I think the Pocket Universe thing. There's a Superman history with the Pocket, quote unquote, Pocket Universe that I was kind of hopeful for. Being an old school Superman fan, post Crisis, Pocket Universe was how they post Crisis did the Legion, and did things like, because the Legion was always inspired by Superman, but in '85 when they did Crisis, they undid Superboy. Superman was never Superboy in the post-Crisis world.
Oh.
Yes. So, but then how does Superboy inspire the Legion? So they created this pocket universe idea that the Time Trapper came up with, and the Superboy from there is what inspired the Legion of the Earth One, Earth Prime. It's basically they hand waved it, and it's also where Superman kills Zod. I was like, okay, if you're gonna go that, do that. I struggled with it in 1986 when that story came out, when he killed Zod. I was like, this doesn't feel right. It was the ending in Man of Steel, I felt. In any event, I wanted that. Like, that's kind of like the 15% I'm taking off. It was just that. And I think Luthor, I love what Nicholas Holt did, but I kind of want to see him now. I don't know how he go from this to President Lex, and I'd love to see that happen. But he's been called away as a criminal. So I'm kind of like...
So in that case, I want to see him Legion of Doom leading it. I think that's where we go next.
I think you're probably right.
Eventually, because we don't, unlike Marvel, currently we do not have a big bad that encompasses this whole Gods and Monsters Chapter 1.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. This is just James Gunn telling stories to get people either familiar with these characters or
Right.
refamiliar with the characters that we already know. Like the next one that we have coming out in universe is Peacemaker season 2.
Right, and I think they're going to replace this Peacemaker with the one from our quote unquote the DCEU. They'll use the pocket dimension that he uses to do that. But
Which was not expecting Peacemaker to show up, but afterwards
yeah,
I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
yep,
Of course. But I'm also like, that was a nice surprise not being spoiled
right.
on it at all. But also, how much money does Clark make versus Lois? Because Clark's apartment was far better than Lois's apartment.
Right.
Like, holy crap. And I'm like, I feel
Well,
bad for Lois.
I mean, how many front pages did he get? Like, she kept talking about all these interviews
as
with
far
Superman.
as far as we know, I think maybe like one or two.
Yeah.
But and we don't I don't know if in this universe if Lois is a Pulitzer Prize winner yet or not.
It definitely was. There. I didn't notice that, but yeah, yeah, it's good. I think Clark. Probably makes. There's probably a wage disparity issue. Sure, let's put it there.
Yeah.
Glass ceiling. Poor Lois. I agree. I loved it. I loved the planet.
Yeah.
I loved the Justice Gang, and this is how I'm going to see. This is what a good broadcast. Let's pivot to Guy. I think we need to talk about Guy. We are a Lanterns TV talk after all. What did you think of Fillion?
So the friends that I saw it with, because we actually went and saw the preview showing on Tuesday, so like 2 days before it actually
Right.
showed.
I went to Wednesday, right? Or Thursday.
We come out of it and I go, this is Guy. This is how you do Guy Gardner. And they're like, they enjoyed the flipping off with the
Yes.
constructs and the hand and everything. They enjoyed
It
Guy
felt like
Gardner.
Guy. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And of course, we are of the cloth.
Of the cloth. I mean, the fact that I mean, he made himself the team leader when it's obviously terrific. I thought what they did with Guy, I laughed a bit. I mean, would I have liked to seen a different Lantern? Not under James Gunn. I think choosing Guy was the perfect way to introduce Green Lantern to this universe. And I think Fillion did it well. He really did.
Yes.
I mean, at one part he talked about, I'll make a hammer construct and hit you. And I'm like, Captain Hammer?
That I didn't realize it until just now. But yes, that is good. But also, what did you think about not just his constructs, but
The effect?
we are used like just him in like general like for flight, for like saving people, because we're
Flight
used
was
to
weak.
seeing we're used to also seeing like an aura around the Green Lanterns. I kind of miss that here, and I
Right.
kind of wish we had that here. Also, with now some people may say, well, that's not how it is, but I also miss like a lot of the contracts coming straight directly out.
They did
of the
that
ring.
though. Like the oven mitts.
they did it
the
with
oven mitts
the
scene,
oven
he had
mitts.
rings. He had
Yes.
lines out of the ring. So I think
It was either or thing,
But
like with
GL
the
does
with
that.
the hands.
yeah. GL does that though. Like sometimes you don't see it. Like it's not line. There were a few times in comics where they would say, he's like, I never told you I needed to see you while I was doing it. I don't need line of sight to make this work. I like that. I loved the constructs. I think were great. The fact that for the first time we see a GL making constructs that are not guns, laser blast, vehicle of some kind. He's making oven mitts. He was making a muzzle for the kaiju. He, like the middle fingers. Like it all worked. I thought, and I liked the effect they did on it. They made them look solid without making them look opaque. So
Yes.
when he's got the kid in the bubble, you can still see through it, but you can also see that it's a little different. I really and I think they had to do what they did with it because, in the scene where Terrific throws a shield around Lois, it couldn't look like a GL shield.
Right.
So-
It had to be different.
which would be if you put a green aura on it is how it's been done in a lot of like live action stuff lately, including the Ryan Reynolds Snooze Fest. I liked that. I liked Guy all the way around. I think he's good. I'm looking forward to Lanterns. I want to see what he does there. Because he does have the chip on his shoulder. I love that he keeps coming up with he keeps trying to make Justice Gang a thing. And it's like
and since there was at the time only 3
right.
people that he would win the vote.
Right.
There's a reason why Superman's not part of the Justice Game, because he would be outvoted.
Right.
And everything.
But
And I
we're
love
friends.
that.
And the fact, I mean, he's sitting there and he's like, well, he has
You know about the
hypnotic
hypno glasses, right?
And that's
Yeah.
right
How,
out of
how does it
Silver
work?
Age.
How does it work? So he's Clark Kent. Oh my God, he's
like-
so trusting.
She's like, you don't want to tell me about the hypno glasses because I might be able to figure out who he is if I didn't know. Oh, so he's Clark Kent. it's like, and that's such a Guy thing, and it's like, and it's been talked of in like Watchmen, especially, and other stuff, that they treated like the secret identity like LGBT, like in coming out, like you don't reveal somebody's secret identity because to them it's like it's something that they should have the power. And here you've got Guy Gardner coming in and just going, oh, so he's Clark. It's like, it was really,
and also it caught me a little bit off guard during the kaiju fight when Mr. Terrific is standing next to Superman and he says Clark.
right.
I'm like, okay,
You don't do that.
interesting. They know who he is. Yes, it's been 3 years since Superman has shown himself to the world, but I was also like, oh, interesting. Okay, we're gonna go with that. These guys know who everyone is.
Right.
It's a secret society for them, so much.
I did. I liked it. I liked Guy. I liked the Justice Gang. I think, as much as I like Guy, he was not the top for me on that team. I like Terrific, and I like that actor. He played
Terrific stole the show in all the scenes that he did after his initial introduction. I thought he was very flat in the beginning, and then once you get to the military base, that's when
more Michael Holt style.
Yeah.
Terrific. I've always loved this version of Terrific. I like Terry Sloan. Don't get me wrong, and that's the original from the JSA. This version of Terrific is completely created by Jeff Johns, and has always been the confident, smartest guy in the room. Like there are people like Guy Gardner who, or even myself. Like sometimes I walk into a room and I know I'm the smartest guy there, and by know I mean I know in my head, but I may not be. Mm-hmm. Terrific is smart enough and confident enough to be like, you know what? If I was in a room with Terrific, he'd be like, I'm gonna let Will think he's the smartest guy in the room, but he knows he's the smartest guy in the room. So like he doesn't correct Guy that he's the leader, but if you watch the fights, Terrific was the one like, okay, do this, and let's go here. Mm-hmm. Terrific's leading it. He just knows enough to be like, I'm gonna let Guy think he's in charge. I love that. Let's see what. So yeah, they did mention at Temple that this Justice Gang is funded by Maxwell Lord. They kind of they did mention it at the end. There was an interview like Justice Gang, or I forget how they worded it. I don't think they said Justice Gang.
They didn't outright say it. They just showed Maxwell Lord being like, "Oh, we finally get someone on both sides agreeing on one person, that Lex Luthor is a dick,
right,
or something like that."
And yeah, I dislike that Tom King too was the one to give Gunn the idea. I think what he did was he mentioned like hypno glasses, and James Gunn was like, "Wait, no, that's Silver Age. We could do that." Yeah, just a shame he's not going to interact with Hal because Hal and Guy is best. I think I hear that Lanterns is John's story, but they're saying Guy's going to be around so much. I don't see how you do that without introducing Guy and Hal together.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give up hope on that. Nathan Fillion and Kyle Chandler being the same thing. This Mr. Terrific is very Jeff Johns-esque, but yet they didn't credit him at the end of the movie. In the end credits, they did credit like 20 comic creators, so they should have. I think Jeff Johns' problem is Jeff Johns right now. He took a lot of the heat for the DCEU blunder, and I mean nothing against you, Nico, but DCEU was a blunder. It didn't make money. It was never profitable. It was not what people wanted in DC. There are people that do like it. There are fans that have it. I'm for them. I'm glad you got it. I am not going to harsh your jam. But at the end of the day, for Warner Brothers, it wasn't profitable. If it was, they would have kept it going. They had to course correct. Oh, he said he didn't film any scenes with Hal. Shit.
But here's the thing: he could just be saying that. Not saying that's not true. Maybe they will do something like reshoots,
Right,
and give them some scenes, because it is very hard. I guess we got to talk about that in news
we'll go
speculation.
yeah, we'll go to
We'll talk about it in speculation. But other than that, this movie, a lot of people online were like, "Oh, it's Man of Steel is still made more money than the Superman," and I thought
Worldwide
they
box
they
office.
looked, yeah, as of right now, yes, but I mean, we still got some time. I think eventually this movie will outgross Man of Steel.
I think it's got a better. It definitely has a better vibe. It definitely has a better word of mouth. I don't think the box office can count anymore either. We're in a different world than when Zack Snyder, Zack Snyder made Man of Steel in 2012, 13 years ago. 8 years pre-COVID. Back during the height of the superhero movie thing. Man of Steel's word of mouth post Man of Steel was not that positive. To the point where when BVS started coming together, some people were like, to the point, it's why. BVS happened because there was no confidence that Man of Steel 2 would be as big of a movie. They had to introduce Batman. That was their course correction. They said they'll make a Man of Steel 2 at some point, but we're going to put Batman in now to kind of get the Justice League going. That's our next step. And DC got scared is what happened back then. I should say Warner Brothers got scared. So, no, I don't think you can compare dollars to dollars, because I know there are a lot of people that say, hey, if I don't go see it in 45 days, it'll be on HBO Max. And I can wait 45 days. I'm not going to pay $40 to take, me and one other person to the. I mean, I had $75 in movie gift cards between my kids. They gave me some Regal cards over the last few years. I had $75. I paid for my and my father's ticket and all the snacks and stuff, and I still had to give them like 10 extra bucks. I'm like, that's two people. Now, Superman's a kid flick. You could bring your kids to this. You're talking like $100, $200 a day. So some people are like, I can't go to the movies, and I get it. We're in
That is a problem with
yeah.
Currently the current outlook of movie theaters in itself.
Right.
Yes, there are sale days and everything, but it is a very expensive movie going. I
Proposition.
mean,
Yeah.
it's $18 for a ticket for the biggest screen
Right.
on there, and like.
It was $14
Yes.
for a smaller screen. I was at a Regal, didn't even have the recliners. Okay, it's a
Oh.
Regal with stadium seating. It was $14 for me. I think I used senior citizen for the old man, so it was like $11.50. And so between those two, it was like 40 some odd dollars when they took their cut, just for the tickets. To go to a 7 o'clock show. No, I'm not going to a 2 o'clock show. You add in, we didn't eat popcorn. But even the popcorns, like if you want to get the special Superman bucket that shoots lasers, that's $30 for a bucket of popcorn. 2 large sodas, that's $8-10 a piece, including the lifeguard. And I'm sorry, you just can't. You can't. A lot of people don't want to do it, and they're like, I'm already paying HBO Max $15 a month. So I'll wait a month and a half. It'll show up before the end of the summer, probably right around Labor Day. They'll have it on HBO Max, and then it'll be out to be, bought on Vudu by November. Like they're like, why would I?
Oh no, I think that's the other way around.
Yeah.
For you.
Oh.
I think it'll come video on demand first.
You're right. Yeah,
and
that's what I
then
meant.
it
And
will
I'll
do.
buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy it physically because I'm a physical
Right.
collector, so that's what I have to do, especially for this.
Yeah, because I'm gonna move so much, and we're gonna live in an RV at some point. I can't do physical, but I mean,
I understand.
yeah.
I also understand the compression and bit rate of everything, and I want
Right.
with physical you do not get
You're
you
not
don't
wrong.
get that you get the fullness of it.
I could always pirate it though. Moving on. Terrible cough. Yeah. But I did. I loved this. I loved the Justice Gang. I think Mr. Terrific was good. Temple.
I enjoyed Hawk Girl,
Yes.
and Metamorpho seems
Loved it. Loved him.
I guess I've only really dealt with him in Superman the Animated Series, so like
Right.
that characterization, he seemed like in the animated series, he seemed more stronger
Right.
in himself, whereas in here he seemed a little bit more down, but understandably so.
Right. I
So,
loved it. I loved
character
Rex.
development.
Yep. I've always liked Rex. Batman and the Outsiders was a book I read pre-crisis. He was in Justice League Europe, I think, or he was in one of the Justice League Giffen years. He's always been. It was JLE because that's where that's where his kid came from actually. Him and Sapphire's kid comes from Justice League Europe in the late '80s. Loved him in the New Outsiders they did, even when it wasn't him. It was Shift, like a piece of him. I've always liked Metamorpho's always the character. Like if you need a Swiss Army knife, you'd have Metamorpho because you could do almost anything you want to him. I like the characterization. Him being like kind of dour and down. I understood it because they had his kid. The minute Superman gets his kid out, he kind of became more Rex. I just like that they had him on screen.
Yeah.
I love.
And it was practical.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
practical. It was great.
I loved it. I really think this was a great introduction to the DC universe. Nico, yeah, we were all saying the same thing. Man of Steel, despite having bad word of mouth, earned more than Superman internationally. I think there's a reason for that. We can get on that in a second, but I'm not going to try to explain it away because you're not wrong. Numbers are numbers. Yes. I think the world was different in 2012 than it is in 2025, and I don't think there's a lot of love. Superman, no matter what you do, is as American as Bond is to Britain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much he's considered an American kind of thing, and there's not a love for America right now in the international community. So I can't help but think that somewhat politically that would explain why the numbers are down a little bit. And again,
Correct.
I think people will discover this movie on streaming and video, and I think a Superman 2 would be. And Superman has not finished its box office run, and it has better word of mouth. They're saying I think it's looking like it's going to go well over 200 this week. That it's going to hit about 55 to 60, which is the expectation. Fantastic Four will come in next week. Fantastic Four will knock it off its perch. Word of mouth around Fantastic Four is not great.
It's good.
It's good. I think
It's good.
Fantastic Four will win week one. I think Superman comes back. I'm going to lay this out there right now. I will not be surprised if Superman comes back into number one week two of Fantastic Four. And if that happens, that's a hit. He's a hit. I don't know what comes after Fantastic Four in the summer cycle, but I think the tentpole movies are almost done. I don't think there's anything.
All the summer blockbusters when Fantastic Four hits, the summer blockbusters are done.
Yeah. So I could see Superman coming back into number one again because I think there will be again too. If hey kids, go see Superman today. You can see it's safe to take the kids too. And I think once people see Galactus and Fantastic Four, I don't think they're gonna. Fantastic Four is a unique property, always has been because they're hopeful. They're a family. They're very, very almost milquetoast sometimes, and you can't really dirty them up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Fantastic Four. I'd like to see them be a hit. I'd like to see Marvel come back to being Marvel, but that's beside the point. Um, the other thing I want to talk about with Superman before we move on is this is the first movie I have seen, including 78, where they did the planet right. The Daily Planet extras, Cat Grant, Steve Lombard, Jimmy Olsen not being
Jimmy
a nerd.
Olsen, the ladies' man.
I mean, Perry White. I loved the planet. I loved that they brought the planet and they made them the characters they are. Steve Lombard is an absolute dick, who you can imagine has a picture in his cubicle of Guy Gardner. Is kind of guy that Steve Lombard is. Cat Grant being completely shallow, and we should talk about Taskmaster as well because she was great.
Miss Taskmaster!
I'm sorry, she was fantastic. But yeah, I love that they got the planet right. I really felt that they did the Daily Planet well. That should be an HBO Max series. Like I would see an HBO Max series of like the newsroom.
There is talk about a Mr. Terrific and a Jimmy Olsen show. Just very early talks. It could very well pan out to be nothing.
I don't think Terrific should go to TV. I think they should use Terrific in the movies. I think Terrific should be the Mark Ruffalo Incredible Hulk of the DCU, because they can't put They can't put Hulk in individual movies yet because Universal still owns the rights. That's why they keep throwing Hulk in any other movie. He was in Thor Ragnarok because they couldn't have a Hulk in Thor movie.
And he's going to show up in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Right. I would rather see Terrific there. I think Terrific should be solely a movie thing, because I love the thought of peeling back the layers of him slowly, as opposed to a television show where they have to they're going to introduce his wife's death like episode 1, and he's going to be tortured. I would rather you keep Terrific as he is and bring him out slowly than to put him on a TV show where we, shine a light on Jimmy Olsen all day. He's been on TV 55,000 times. Cool. Come up with another hero where you want to do that. Like, grab another Metropolis gangbuster. Who else is in Metropolis? Hell, bring
Steel.
Steel. Will Payton Starman. Which is going 80 style, and nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, you lost me there.
In the 80s they relaunched Starman. It had nothing to do with the JSA Starman. It was just a superhero who, I forget how I think he was born an alien or something, but he had light powers. He was great. It was cool.
I think I can.
I think it was Will Payton or Will Paxton. I think it was Will Payton, and they used him Robinson used him in Starman when he took it over and made him Ted Knight again, or Jack Knight. But yeah, like it was DC's first post-crisis. We're going to try to make a new hero from jump and see how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
It hit and missed. It hit and
I
missed.
see. Yep.
It had hits. It had misses. I liked the character. I'm probably one of the few ones, because I liked it for what it was, where DC was like, we're going to try this. We're going to make a superhero that has no, like they did it later. They would make him a Green Lantern or a Flash or something. They would tie him to a legacy character as opposed to just making somebody brand new.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress. Like, bring one of those out for Jimmy Olsen to kind of interact with. Or just make it about the planet. Make them telling news stories about the Justice Gang and Superman and Peacemaker. And that would be interesting to me. I don't know how interesting it would be for anybody else, but it would definitely be interesting for me. But, wrapping up my review, 8.5. I think this was a solid Superman. I think it's the best Superman since 78. Again, I understand I have a unique perspective being in my 50s. I am not unvalidating anyone who loved Man of Steel or the Snyderverse. Your jam is your jam, and I'm all for it. I finally feel like they've made a Superman movie for me that wasn't Superman Returns, which was they were trying to make a Superman movie for me, but failed dismally. But yeah,
Yes, Temple. I did notice.
I did see that too.
Afterwards the JSA art on the Hall of Justice, which was the Iowa train station that they
Right.
actually went and filmed in, which was great because that's what the original Hall of Justice was based on. I hope we get stories of the
I think that's
JSA.
how you bring Flash back. I think because Flash is problematic right now, and I think you need to have a Flash in the DCU.
I don't.
Ezra
it's,
Miller, good or bad, has cast a very large shadow on that. Some people really liked him, or them. Sorry, I wasn't meaning to misgender. Some people really liked their version of the Flash. I was not one of them, and I have problems with Ezra Miller as a person. A lot of the news articles I've read and things like that. I don't think this person should be in a movie about superheroics and heroes and mythology, especially where children are involved, because they've got issues, and I really hope they get it fixed. Mental health is mental health, and I'm sorry to see what happened, but the Flash movie was god awful. It really was. I mean, the best parts of it had nothing to do with Flash. Give me more Keaton. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Gunn said Flash and Aquaman won't be introduced for the next 2 years, but they want to use Grodd without Flash. How do you use Grodd without Flash?
it's the same thing. How do you use the Joker without Batman? You
But
can't.
that's the problem I have with the Joker movie.
Exactly. Well, yes.
That's the
Yes.
problem I've always had with those movies. But yeah, I think you could use Jay Garrick to bring Flash back. I think you have to kill Barry. Here's what I want to see. I would love to see a Jay Garrick Barry movie where Barry dies, and you tell Wally West. I think James Gunn can write Wally West Flash better. That character more fits in James Gunn's wheelhouse than. And oh, by the way, Barry Allen, Michael Rosenbaum. Anyway,
Even though he voiced him as Wally.
yes, I don't care. I think bring in
Okay.
Michael Rosenbaum to be Barry Allen, and have him die in like a crisis thing, and have Wally bring it up, and you cast a 19, late teens, 20 something. You get a lot of legs out of that Flash, and make him fun and make him, strong moral character. Wally, that's just it. The problem I had with Ezra Miller was Barry's wasn't strong morally. He didn't seem to know who he was morally, and Barry Allen is a good, not even neutral good, like good character. His moral compass is solid. And it's the only way to tell drama with Barry Allen is that he's struggling, much like Superman, with the world around him, and how people go halfway. Wally is a character where you can get kind of the neutral good. He wants to do good, but he's also impulsive. And if they had made Ezra Miller be Wally West, I wouldn't have many problems with Flash as I do.
Or Bart.
Yeah. Oh, well, if they made him Bart, I wouldn't have no problem at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were you going to say though?
I forgot.
Oh, I'm the
I
worst
literally
ever.
forgot.
I'm the worst co-host
No,
ever.
You're fine. Well, okay. Let us wrap up
Yes.
Superman 2025.
So I said 8.5. You said
I said 8.
yep.
Still A minus.
Yeah.
B plus. Still go see this movie. Give it your money. Well,
Please give it your money because that's how they.
give the movie theater your money, and
Yeah.
then they'll decide what to do with the money then later. But
Yeah. Well, that's the scorecard though. It's always going to be the scorecard. I mean, and Nico's right. He brought it up internationally. Superman made less. So if you're in another country, go see go see this movie. If you're in Italy right now, you will go see this movie.
I think there's some. I don't know about Japan or China. I
Right.
think there is one country that just will not show.
It's too.
I think it
American.
might be Israel. That's just not
That
showing
seems
it.
Weird.
Yeah. But all right, let's close this and let's open the Book of Oa as we go on to speculation and news.
It's time to read the book of Oa.
All right. So as we kind of mentioned earlier in the show, Lanterns has wrapped filming. They did have a big like wrap party this week. So main filming is done. They could always go back for reshoots.
Yeah, but I think Temple's right. They're not gonna. If Guy and Kyle don't share a scene, it's a missed opportunity. But it makes sense. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Guy being in it is always like, "Well, hello there. How are you?" And I'm in another room talking to you through the ring, or
He
news
did.
articles.
Nathan Fillion did say it's the most amount of f bombs that he's dropped in a show. So yes, I mean they could have done it in Superman, but they held it back for Lanterns because that's more an adult.
And
An
I
adult
applaud
show.
Gunn for that. He made a Superman movie you could take kids to.
Yeah, exactly. So we also did find out from James Gunn that this is going to be a Jon Stewart focused story, which
Right.
makes sense. The
I think
most
John's going to be their Green Lantern
yeah,
for the DC,
and
and I'm okay with that.
I am I'm good with that. We just now think that Hal's going to go away by
No,
some
I
means.
don't think Hal's going to go away. I think they're going to
I don't know.
parallax. I think they're going to
But
parallax.
that's yeah.
I do.
Which
I think they're going to
I
parallax.
don't. I I mean, we state it almost every single time. We don't want that to happen. We want to have Hal around.
Right.
It. I don't. They need to. They need to then bring in the other Lantern Corps.
I think
to
they
do
did
that.
say that. There was an article I read where they are going to do alien lanterns. Yes. Okay, I'm very disappointed. I saw on Reddit many others are too because most would rather have Hal or Kylo. I don't know that I agree. If you can't have Hal, I like the. It's twofold. Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, and I don't know. And again, my political standings are what they are. I'm very middle of the road. I love the idea of John from a character standpoint. I love Jon Stewart, but also from a representation standpoint, because even in this movie, Kendra Saunders, they made her obviously Middle Eastern or Latina. They don't really go into it, but other than Mr. Terrific, this is a pretty white movie. There are a whole
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
of
you
white
also
people.
you just got Perry White. You also had Perry White.
I love Perry White. I do. And I love that they used the dude from. I love that actor. He was in everything I've seen him in. He was in Suits as Meghan Markle's dad. He was in the John Krasinski, Jack Ryan stuff, and he was freaking awesome in that. That guy is awesome, and I love Perry White as that. But Jon Stewart for an entire generation is Green Lantern. Like for me, it was Hal because of Super Friends. For millennials, it was John because of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I'm there. You got me. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, Temple just wants to see the four corpsmen.
I do too. Well, there's
I do
6
too.
now. Or
There's
7 if you count
7,
Joe.
8.
Well, let's see.
I,
Hal, John, Guy, Kyle,
Simon,
Jessica, Joe,
Joe.
Teen Lantern and Baby Lantern or something. There might be 9.
Yeah. And then, of course, even though not really affiliated with, but then we got Alan Scott,
Yeah.
too.
And then
Which,
here's the thing. I'd love Jade. Bring us Jade. Jade was a great GL love of Kyle. She had a ring for a while, that she got her real powers back. I'd love to see them pull Jade off because I just love the character. Don't do what Winnick did. That crap with him in the early 2000s when she left Kyle, because don't do what Winnick did. But I think, Temple wants a 4-corpsman. Nico is saying, it's comic book nerds that don't understand that everything has to be comic accurate. U.S. fans are comic book. I think he meant that as U.S., not us. As U.S.
Yes.
fans are comic book nerds and don't understand that everything has to be comic accurate. I don't know that I guess I get it. And again, Nico,
I want
love
the
this.
majority. I want the majority of it to be comic book accurate.
And I love that
and
Nico's kind of not sold on that. Nico's the next gen, man. Nico's 20. He's our next generation. Like, here's the thing. when I was Nico's age, I had people telling me that that you couldn't have Justice League without the Seven, and I'm like, but Justice League International is fun. Barry it used to get a lot of Barry Allen shit. Oh, I can't believe they killed Barry Allen. Wally West, I'm never reading it. And then Mark Waid came along and wrote him great. So ours was the first generation where there was kind of a changing of the guard. Silver Age had it, but they kept it in Silver Age, they rebooted. They rebooted everything, and they just, Alan Scott didn't exist. Jay Garrick didn't exist. They rebooted Silver Age. It's only since then that they've been doing these things in continuity. And it's hit sometimes. Wally West, I think, is the prime example. It hasn't hit others. They tried Dick Grayson in the Batsuit for a while. It didn't work because he's not Batman. He's Nightwing.
I enjoyed that Grant Morrison run.
Right.
I really did.
I did too, and especially when, what was it, the Joker or something was looking at a picture and Dick let a smile across his lips as Batman, and he said, "That's not Batman. That's not Batman." Dick was fighting somebody and he starts smiling in the cowl, and it's disturbing. But yeah, Hal is the Lantern. I'm sorry. Hal is Green Lantern to me. Hal should be Green Lantern, but John is too because of JLA or JL and JLU cartoon wise. I think I'm okay with John. I'm not okay if it was Simon. I would be up in arms if it was Simon. I would not be okay if it's Jessica, not because she's a female and not because Simon is Muslim, but because they're so new and their characters have not been defined. Jessica, I think they'd want to go the crazy route, and I don't want to see a crazy Green Lantern. I want to see a heroic Green Lantern. Yeah, I want to see Hal done right in live action for once, and it's a shame because he hasn't been done right yet. You're not wrong, because I also saw 1978 Challenge of the Superheroes. Go look that up. Go look up the Justice League movie from '87. You'll see Guy Gardner's not done right either. But yeah, I like Hal. I hate that they cast Chandler as Hal because I don't know that once he goes Parallax, Kyle Chandler's in his 50s. That I don't think you're gonna see Hal's redemption. I don't think you do Hal's redemption unless when they redeem him, they make him younger looking again and recast him with Chris Pratt. Oh God, don't recast him with Chris Pratt.
Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I don't.
We still have some time.
John.
Yeah, we still have some time. We only have literally one photo, and it's just of those two.
Yeah.
There's some set photos, but we don't know what the suit looks like. We don't know anything else. We haven't seen Sinestro. We haven't seen any of the other characters yet. I am as for someone on the podcast, for the news wise, that sucks. But for me, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not seeing everything out in the open right now.
Temple, you're not wrong. I want to see. Temple says, guys, John fans won't be happy either. He's stealing other lanterns again with Kyle's artist job, or I'm assuming having Hal's stories later on. Here's the thing. They haven't said that, and I agree with you. If John is anything other than an architect, even if it's freelance, I got a problem with that because it's core to the character. They talk about his constructs being built from the inside out because he's an architect. He knows how it should be built. That works for me. You make him an artist, then I got a problem. Yeah.
Isn't being an architect also being an artist?
Yes, but I'd rather see him be an actual art. I think being an architect is key to his character. Being in the Marines, because that's what John's did, is key to the character. John being an artist, son of a gun. Don't forget, some of these articles, though, could be written by AI. They could have seen him with an easel and said he's an artist as opposed to an architect.
An architect.
But, yeah, we got to hope on that.
Yeah.
It happened with Lindelhoff's Watchmen, too. Don't even start on Lindelhoff's Watchmen. Ugh. It was good for what it was, but I'm sorry, I'm an old school, and Alan Moore's Watchmen was just... I mean, that's what Snyder did that beautifully. He literally took freaking panels out of that and put them on screen. That's the thing they're talking about. I don't like what it means for Hal, per se. But I think I may have to give up on that. And again, because here's the thing, I got probably 15, 20 years of comic money left before I'm out. And, Nico's the future. And Nico's letting his opinion be known. I respect that. I do. I respect it. So I'm still going to watch it. We're still doing this show. There's a part of me, okay, I'll pull the curtain back. Guys, we're doing a show about Lanterns, the TV show. I don't know something? If it's good, I'm going to be very happy, and this will be great. But it'll be a lousy podcast because we're just going to sit there and love this thing, and you're going to be annoyed.
It.
If it's horrible, though, think of all the great content we're going to make. But yeah, I'm for it. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And that's just, and I mean, just to pull it back further while we're sitting here, speculation. Kyle and I were just talking, and we're going to talk about this in the mailbag, Temple. One of your comments is coming up in the mailbag. We've got ideas for future shows here. So Hal might be a mentor. Yes, that would be good to Jess. I know. Yeah, that's right. My Adventures with GL is going to be about Jessica. So
Right. I forgot about that show.
That. Yeah, because we're not 12, which is what the show's for.
Well, I think it's going to be the same vein as My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
And that's not a kid's show at all.
I guess you're right. Probably not, yeah. So, I've watched a few episodes. It didn't grab me, but I should. But, yeah, I think that's kind of our book, right?
Yeah. Let's close on the book, and let's get on over to our JLA signaling device that's going off in my head right now.
Time to read mail with the Justice League signal device.
Okay. I think I got to take this one, right?
Yep, because you have it in front of you.
First of all, we don't have any mail from you people. What's wrong with you guys? You don't love us anymore? You don't use email anymore? I know the new generation doesn't. But you can email us, guys, and we'll talk about it at the end. But podcast@lanternstvtalk.com. Or what we're going to do now, so we have content to fill this with, leave comments on as you guys might know, if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, or our Instagram, or my TikTok. We have been throwing some shorts out there. Opus AI, you rule. Again, send us money. Hashtag not sponsored. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is, so I'm going to read some comments here. The Elias Noel said, well, that was Bill Burr. We read that last time. But he said Earth One, because I think we were talking about Earth One comics. He said Earth One felt like a fresh take that was moving towards that, but it's a shame we never got the third volume. Oh, GL Earth One. Yeah, he's not wrong. I like the take on GL Earth One. I did. I think they kind of just gave up on Earth One altogether. I haven't seen a Batman one. The Batman Earth One was fantastic. The stuff they did.
I haven't read the third Earth One Batman. I read the Superman. I don't remember the Superman ones as much. There was a Wonder Woman one, and
they tried to make him.
I haven't read the Green Lantern ones,
right?
Just because I might have based the book on the. I might have based the cover.
Yeah.
Wrong, because I'm just.
It's obviously the absolute universe pulled from those, though, in a lot of the ways. Like Alfred, Batman Earth One's Alfred, and Absolute Batman's Alfred kind of can be simpatico synonymous as I remember it. So I definitely agree with that. Thank you, Elias Noel. Temple brought up last time. He was like, hey, if you're planning to talk about JLU, I think 6 episodes of Green Lantern animated series every few weeks from the beginning to end would be cool, in my opinion. Absolutely. Temple, You're not wrong. We actually talked about it. We have content to fill until
next year.
Yeah, until January when Lanterns comes out. We're still probably going to stick on the every 3-week rotation for right now. We might speed it up a little. We could probably do season 1, after the like. Here's the thing: we're in summer right now. It's real hard, As we get towards fall, maybe Kyle and I can really put out a schedule. I do think that should be some features on this. I don't want to do it just all 13 or whatever episodes they've got in one shot. I'd like to hand that out, and it does seem like they kind of go every 6 episodes through almost like an arc. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I watched that show, But there's definitely some DCAU Justice League and Justice League Unlimited episodes I do want to hammer, and I think
Yeah.
we need to put a list together. Maybe we'll put that out on our socials of like what ones you guys think we should do. We'll include the Superman animated series. I think we definitely got to do the JLU one where Amazo came back, because there's a whole lot of Green Lantern core in that one.
Oh, yeah.
Including the return of Kyle as
Kyle.
Hal. Yeah, at least current GL series is good. Would be cool if y'all covered new issues when that comes out too, maybe in the next few weeks. It's tough because I don't think either one of us are buying them. Like I said, I pay for Infinite, and I'm not going to change that. It's a better value add for me. It's hard for me to justify a magazine cover price for a pamphlet book, and comic prices have gone way through the roof.
It
even
might be
digital.
worth it. It might be worth it when the
Yeah.
volumes
Right.
come out.
Maybe we do the graphic novels. It's tough because I have a real problem too with publishers right now, as far as I still don't understand why the cover price of a print comic book is the same cover price as a digital. You should not be charging us the same cover price, because you're saving ink, printing costs, paper. And okay, well, you don't put as many advertisements in, but it's not a value for me. Yeah, because another issue is coming out on July 23rd. I get it, and I understand it. I just don't have. You know what? If we ever go to the Patreon route, I'll make that a level. I'll be like, get to this level in Patreon, and I'll buy Kyle and I'll sign us up for a subscription to where we get the new books every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's comics are ridiculous. I can't pay $5 for a single issue anymore. I can't. I just can't.
And that's another reason why I'm like stopping on my pull list on certain comics,
Right.
because it's like, oh, Martian Manhunter is $4.99, Flash is $4.99, Batman's $4.99, and then I've got Justice League versus King Kong versus Godzilla 2, because I love
There are 4
Godzilla.
Wednesdays in a month,
Yeah.
and to tell you the truth, this is one of the reasons I still read Saga, is that those guys have fought Image constantly. It's $2.99 for the book. They're not raising their rate. It's $2.99 for digital or paper. I love
remember
Saga.
I remember during the brightest day,
Yeah,
when DC was like
$3.
standing firm, $2.99.
Yep.
And then
You just, and
started
I
to go up.
understand that inflation is inflation, and I'm not, but I can't justify it as a husband, as a head of my household. Even though my kids are gone, I still have, I just can't. So to me, I'm like, okay, I'll pay the $100 at the start of the year, and I pay it in January for a year of Infinite, and I paid I think $60 for Marvel, and that's how I'm reading my books, so that the publishers are getting, because I mean there are people out there that pirate, there are people out there that go and you can get the torrents day of, and I could do that. I don't want to do that. I don't think it's right to take money from
from the artists and
from
writers
artists,
and everything.
But I don't think the value of comics right now hard, and then you add in the fact that I'm going to be downsizing significantly. My comic collection is already extremely downsized. It's going to be more so because I'm moving into an RV, and my wife and I are going to probably do some stuff. I mean, it won't change anything on the show, Kyle. Don't worry, I'll always have it in it. But you add into that, and it starts to become this untenable value add for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do that. I really do, especially the storylines that are going on now with Hal and Carol and all that. This is the Green Lantern I've been wanting, and I've been reading it every month. I'm just not reading them the day they come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading them a month later. The only books I'm paying for right now, and here comes the hypocrisy, because I pay for Saga. I read that. I pay Savage Dragon. I pay Eric Larson. I'm sorry. I love Savage Dragon. That's the hill I'm gonna die on. Savage Dragon is my jam. I love that book. I do buy that when it comes out, because he only publishes now like maybe 6 or 7 a year, because he's always late. So
Hey,
I'm like, it's $4, but $5. But well, you missed. He just put one out this week. You might have missed June, May, and April. So I'm like.
Hey, I was buying Dark City on Image, which is the future Spawn. I'm like, oh, that's great. But I got through the first 12 issues. I actually still need to read some of them. And I'm like,
Let me
I
get
think
you
that's it.
I'm gonna get you turned on. Read Savage Dragon. Go back. Read them all. As far if you're
Funny story. Funny story. I have a whole bunch of Savage Dragon.
if you're a comic book
And
fan,
Nighthawk?
I don't think it was Nighthawk, but it was Silver. It wasn't Silverhawk.
I don't know. I do have a
Darkhawk?
bunch.
No, that's Marvel. Yeah,
I do have a bunch down there.
Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk, yes.
That's.
I
was like,
do
it's
I
gonna
do
come
have
to
a
me.
bunch. I think collected issues are definitely better as you all can tell
The
with how
issues
much
of Savage Dragon
that I have.
The want to read is his around issue. It starts slow, and then around issue 15 till about 75 when he goes to Strange New World. He's just doing a whole bunch of comic book tropes, and then he goes to Strange New World. He starts a whole new reality. It's good stuff. Savage Dragon, definitely. I'll always follow that. I love Eric Larson. I read him in Doom Patrol. Anyway, that being said, yes, we probably could do some collected editions trades, and I think we're going to do that. Maybe we'll make a comics corner. As a part of
I just
regular
looked
part
at
of the
my
show.
local library. They have Green Lantern Earth 1, but they don't have Volume 2.
Right.
So
I can
And
get
that's what
volume
I-
2
that's-
on Infinite, and I read it.
and that's what I've been doing a lot recently is getting a lot of my comics from the library, which by the way, library card is free,
Yep.
guys and gals. And non-binary.
Guys,
That's
gals,
free.
non-binary pals. Yeah.
It is free. Even at the end of like the receipt, they're like, "You have saved so much money this year from
Yep.
going through us," and I'm like, "You're right." But I also am racking up a late fee, only 50 cents, because I keep forgetting.
Yeah, talking about GL, talking about comic. If I was to buy my comics, the reason I pay DC Infinite is I'm a DC guy. I read both GLs right now, so there's $10 a month. I read Nightwing. Always will read Nightwing. I love that character. That's another $5.15. Titans 20. Green Arrow 25. Flash 30. Justice League 35. It turns into this thing you cannot keep up. So yeah, I'm all for it. But that's kind of our mailbag. The only other comment we have is the Elias Noel also, he commented on, I think we put up a short on the rings. He said, would also recommend the Lantern's bronze wing. Get one of the Ring Foundry anodized rings. You can wear them daily and they are comic accurate. They are, and I took a look at some of the green anodized bronze rings, and I'm like, yes, it would be comic accurate, but I'm still 50. And even this, I wouldn't wear this necessarily out in public. I wear my one that looks really cool, and people get it, but it's also like not looking at me like I'm a child or trying to capture my youth or trying to entice children or something worse like that. So, yes.
And I work in I work in a
Can't wear
warehouse,
wigs,
so
yeah.
it's not recommended that I
But the best ring I have
wear one.
is this ring right here. She'll love that later. I'll show it to her. Like, talk about Rebirth, Sinestro War, Blackest Night. We have a comic episode, Temple.
Yeah.
That's going to be the pre-Lanterns, where when we get more of an idea of what we're going to see there. I believe they're going to do a lot with William Hand. I think John Ritter's kid is William Hand. We're going to go Blackest Night. We're going to have to. I mean, so you get into that, you got to talk about the War of Light to get us there. So yes, that is always been on our table, but I think we're going to carve out a GLTAS couple of episodes because we're running. There's a couple of more things we want to do. What's next? Are we doing Justice League next? Because I think we're out of movies.
Well, we don't know for sure.
Right.
We could go like definitely Secret Origin Justice League, that beginning quote unquote movie,
Right.
and review it then, or we could just get it out of the way and do Beware My Power.
See, I like the idea of doing Justice League JLU because it kind of brings us to a point where we can then do Justice League, the first of their whatever that universe was, as a kind of like use that as kind of like a And it also kind of puts some distance between us and Nathan Fillion. So, because if we do that movie, then it's in Nathan Fillion, the Green Lantern, in that, and it's kind of like, yeah,
In which one?
yeah, the Justice League where they fight Darkseid War, or whatever it is. There, that
No.
first one. Who was
Well,
the G-
no.
he was the GL
Yes.
in that.
Yes. Sorry. I was thinking of Justice League War because that's a different voice actor. But yes, also Emerald Knights we could still do
We
as
could.
an anthology film. That one has Nathan Fillion. So there's Justice League War, Justice League Throne of Atlantis.
War was the one I was thinking it was. So yeah, you're right.
There's Justice League Doom, which is based on Tower of Babel.
Yeah, and I
That
think
one's
we have
got
to-
Nathan
That's
Fillion.
why I think you got to do the Justice League first, like the Justice League JLU to kind. Oh, you're right. It was Justin Kirk. You're right, because the War was what I thought Nathan Fillion was in. You're right. It was Justin Kirk. And
Yeah,
Alan
but then
Tudyk
they-
is Superman. No shit.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
love Alan Tudyk.
It's
We could do War. I like.
but then
War.
they also changed that voice to
Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine's husband.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell,
Yep.
and that made sense.
Which then they have Lois as Rebecca Romaine, so
Yeah, it worked.
it worked.
Yeah, he's right. We could do Emerald Knights, but Emerald Knights being an anthology, and it's tougher to find. I think I would rather use that as like bring it into conversation than do a full episode on that, because that was so hit and miss too. I don't want to make somebody watch something hit and miss anymore. It's bad enough we're gonna make people watch Beware My Power, and that just hurts. But I think our next one. What if we do Justice League and JLU, and we'll pick like 6 episodes there, or maybe we'll put it up into a poll on the YouTube or something.
Yeah, I like
We
that.
kind of go through, because it's on, and plus it's easily found on HBO Max. So, and it is HBO
Or
Max again.
If you have the physical copies, you can also watch them then
Seriously, you and
too.
your physical copies. All right, boomer.
At least I don't
yeah.
have to rewind.
Yeah, that's true. I don't have to rewind. I just go to the next letter. But I think that's kind of it for our mailbag. Again, guys, please send us emails. Send us, obviously if you comment on our socials, we're going to use it. But yeah, that's kind of it. And I still haven't made a
bump for the oath.
yeah. So, I mean,
Well, in that case, then before we take the oath, we want to remind you how to find us while we're out and about in the sectors. You can join our conversation on our Discord. Just open your browser to discord.lanternstvtalk.com and join the discussions. And as we said earlier, you can also email us at podcast@lanternstvtalk.com.
and you can find me streaming on Twitch from time to time. Not much lately because my dad was here, but a little bit more. I started a new series, not like Bo, but I started a new survival world because I've been playing with Java. So I started a new Minecraft survival world, which I'm kind of having fun with. But I'll stream games like Marvel Snap, Star Wars Galaxies, and even Fancraft, which is the Minecraft SMP server. Kyle's on it. I'm on it. I'm building inside that city. Spoiler alert. I'm building Baxter Building from the movie. So
All right.
he gave me permission, so I'm gonna build it right next to Titan's Tower. Try to make it or Avengers Tower, I should say. Try to make it as big, and because the Baxter Building in the Fantastic Four movie looks great.
It does. I do like it.
I'm gonna try to build that because I really like the lines on it. But you can find me at twitch.tv/oldmangamer.ny. The NY is from New York.
You can follow me on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on Twitter, at KyleCrosby89. You can also listen to me on the Atomic Geekdom podcast, which our latest episode for Atomic Geekdom did delve into Superman, Jurassic World, and 28 years later.
Interesting. I got to listen to that. I was looking for podcasts this week. I thought I was subscribed to it. Did you make a new poll?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to resubscribe. Along with some other sources through this whole podcast, the primary music for our show is provided by our good friend Charlie Bach. He sent me some new music I got to find a use for because it's great.
Nice.
You can find more of his music at soundcloud.com/Charlie Bach.
So for Will, this is Kyle saying we'll see you next time as we give you, the listeners, the tools in order to what we do next.
We're going to do Justice League and Justice League Unlimited GL focused episodes. So,
Yeah.
because there is one too with like Katma. I know that in the early Justice League show, they introduced Katma. So I'm looking forward to that. They had Katma Tui.
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to think of who that
So-
was.
And that's kind of one of the reasons I like John, too, just as a side. I loved Katma and John. I really wish they had resurrected her. So we're going to be doing that. But, yeah, I don't know. We still don't have a closing mark like go fuck yourself, San Diego.
No. No.
But, yeah, we'll figure something out. We're going to work on that. So we got a workshop done.
Yep. Well, until next time.
Yeah. You give us a witty closing remark, San Diego.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might